Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to get upset? How quickly someone cuts us off in traffic and we carry that for hours? Or a rude comment ruins a perfectly good day? Now here's a better question. What if you could train yourself to never get angry or bothered again? Not by becoming cold or indifferent, but by becoming wise, composed, unshakable. You see, the key is this. You cannot control what happens, but you can always control your response. And that's where your real power begins. Getting angry is natural, yes, but staying angry, that's a decision. You can either react with emotion or respond with intention. Here's what I've learned. Most of the things we get angry about aren't worth our peace. They're temporary. They pass. But when you let them inside, they linger. They take your energy. They cloud your focus. And if you're not careful, they become a habit. Now think of the greats, the calm ones, the centered ones. Were they never tested? Of course they were. But they mastered one thing, the pause. That little moment between what happens and how you respond, that's where strength lives. It's not about pretending you don't feel anything. It's about becoming bigger than what bothers you. It's about building emotional discipline the same way you build physical strength, one rep at a time. Disrespect, it says more about them than you. Rejection, it's redirection. Setbacks, they're setups for growth. So from now on, here's the shift. Don't waste your life being upset at things you can't control. Spend it becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to be. Because peace is the real prize. And maturity is measured by how little it takes to shake you. Choose composure. Choose clarity. Choose growth. Because the stronger you become within, the less you'll be moved by what's outside. Anger is natural, but staying angry is a choice. It's one of those emotions we all feel. It rises in your chest. Your heart beats faster. Your thoughts race. Your words sharpen. And just like that, you're in it. Anger shows up uninvited, but how long it stays, that's up to you. It's a visitor. You don't have to give it a room. You don't have to feed it. You don't have to let it unpack and take control. Yes, it's normal to feel it. You're human.
You're human.
Someone wrongs you. Someone disrespects you. Life throws you off track. Of course it stings. But staying in that space, that's no longer emotion. That's decision. Every moment you hold on to anger, you give away peace. You give away clarity. You trade your strength for stress. And here's the thing. Most of the time, the person or situation that caused it, they've moved on. They're not carrying it. But you are. You're carrying the weight. You're holding the fire. And guess who gets burned? Letting go doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise. It means you've decided that your energy is too valuable to waste on what you can't change. The power isn't in being angry. The power is in mastering it. It's in recognizing the feeling and then deciding what to do with it. It's in pausing before you speak. It's in breathing before you react. It's in walking away before you explode. The more you practice that, the more control you gain. Not over others, but over yourself. And that's where real power lives. That's where maturity begins. That's where peace is protected. Anger may come. Let it pass. Don't let it stay. Because staying angry doesn't punish the world. It punishes you. You can't control events, but you can always control your response. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. Things will go wrong. That's just how life works. But in the middle of that storm, you still have a choice. You don't get to choose what happens every time, but you always get to choose how you react to it. That's where your power begins. That's where maturity begins. And some people live their entire lives reacting to everything. They give away their peace to every bad moment, every insult, every failure, every traffic jam, every delay. They let it decide how they feel. They let it run their day. But you can be different. You can decide to respond instead of react. You can pause before letting emotion take the lead. You can step back and breathe when things don't go your way. Because that moment, that pause, that's the difference between growth and regret. You see, you may not be in charge of what happens, but you are always in charge of who you become in the process. And the person you become, that's your responsibility. That's your legacy. That's your peace. It's not about pretending things don't affect you. It's about not letting them moan you. You can acknowledge the frustration. You can admit the disappointment. But then you move forward with grace, with wisdom, with control. Why give something temporary the power to ruin your permanent state of mind? Why let something outside dictate what's happening inside? The event might be outside your hands, but the meaning you give it, the response you choose, that's all yours. And that's where your freedom lives. Not in controlling the world, but in mastering yourself. Emotional discipline is built like a muscle through repetition. You don't wake up one day with perfect control over your emotions. Just like you don't walk into the gym and lift your heaviest weight on day one. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes practice. Every time you choose not to react with anger, you're training. Every time you pause before speaking out of frustration, you're getting stronger. Every time you stay calm in the middle of chaos, you're building emotional muscle. And just like physical strength, it starts small. The first time it's hard. You want to shout. You want to fight back. You want to let the emotion win. But then you remember you're training for something greater. You're not reacting just to feel better in the moment. You're responding to become better in the long run. Discipline means saying no when it's easier to say yes. It means being in control when everything around you is out of control. It means not giving your emotions the driver's seat. There will be setbacks. There will be days you lose your cool, but that doesn't mean you failed. It means you're learning. It means you're human. The next time you'll hold it a second longer, and the time after that, even longer. And one day what used to trigger you won't even move you. Because repetition rewires you. It reconditions your mind. It reshapes your habits. It redefines who you are. You start showing up with peace, with patience, with poise. You begin to realize that real power isn't loud. It's quiet. It doesn't lash out. It listens. It doesn't seek revenge. It chooses wisdom. And the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Until emotional control isn't something you have to force, it becomes who you are. Strong, steady, unshakable. The pause between stimulus and response is your point of power. It's the quiet space, often just a second, where everything can change. Something happens, someone says something, life throws you off course, and before you react, there's a moment, small, silent, but powerful beyond measure. That pause is where your freedom lives. That pause is where your future is shaped. Because in that space, you're not a slave to reaction. You're not controlled by impulse. You're not driven by anger, ego, or fear. You're in control. You get to decide what happens next. You can escalate, or you can de-escalate. You can react with emotion or respond with intention. You can fuel the fire or you can be the calm. Most people never learn to use that pause. They live their whole lives triggered. Someone says something rude, they snap. Plans fall apart, they break down. A door closes, they start shouting at the wall. But the ones who master the pause, they change everything because they've learned that they don't have to respond to life with the same energy it gives them. They can rise above. They can choose grace over anger, patience over panic, wisdom over reaction. And the more they use that pause, the more powerful they become. They don't waste energy on things that don't matter. They don't let small things steal big peace. They don't trade their strength for short-term emotion. That pause may seem small, but it holds everything. It's where clarity is born. It's where maturity shows up. It's where your character is revealed. You don't have to be a victim of the moment. You don't have to be ruled by your first impulse. That pause is a gift. It's the difference between chaos and control, between regret and wisdom, between living by default and living by design. Use it, practice it, protect it, because in that 1 second of stillness, you hold the power to shape everything that follows. Letting things bother you drains your focus and peace. It might seem small in the moment, a comment, a look, a delay, a mistake. But when you let it live in your mind, it starts to grow. It repeats itself in your thoughts. It takes up space where clarity used to be. And slowly, without realizing it, you're no longer thinking about your goals. You're thinking about what someone said, what someone did, what went wrong, what didn't feel fair. Your mind, which could be focused on progress, is now consumed by frustration. Your energy, which could be building something better, is now scattered. Your peace, which keeps you balanced, begins to slip away. And the truth is, most of what bothers us, it's not permanent. It's not life-altering. It's not even worth the time we give it. It's just a bump in the road, not a reason to stop driving. But when we let it fester, when we let it replay over and over, it becomes something bigger than it ever needed to be. It steals hours. It steals days. It steals presence. It steals present. We miss the beauty in front of us because we're stuck in a moment that's already passed. We lose the ability to be here now because we're still somewhere back then. And this isn't about ignoring problems. It's about choosing what deserves your energy. It's about asking, is this helping me move forward or holding me back? Is this growing me or draining me? The more you hold on to what bothers you, the less space you have for what builds you. You can't grow if you're always looking back. You can't find peace if you're always holding pain. You can't focus on what matters when you're distracted by what doesn't. Letting go isn't weakness. It's wisdom. It's knowing that your mind is a powerful space and not everything deserves a seat inside it. So choose carefully. Protect your peace. Guard your focus. Because every second you spend on what bothers you is a second you're not building the life that fulfills you. Don't react emotionally. Respond intentionally. That's the difference between a life led by impulse and a life led by purpose. When something triggers you, your first instinct might be to lash out, to defend, to argue, to prove a point, to feel justified in your emotion. But pause for a moment. What if your first reaction isn't the best one? What if it's not aligned with who you truly want to be? What if that emotional reaction only creates more problems, more tension, more regret? You see, reacting emotionally is easy. It takes no effort, no discipline, no reflection, but it often leads to pain, misunderstanding, and broken bridges. Responding intentionally, that takes strength. That takes clarity. That takes self-control. You don't have to ignore your emotions. You just don't have to be ruled by them. Anger can speak too quickly. Fear can exaggerate the moment. Ego can turn a small issue into a war. But intention brings perspective. It asks, what outcome do I really want? It pauses long enough to choose peace over pride, wisdom over reaction. And that pause, that's power. That's when you reclaim control. That's when you lead the moment instead of letting the moment lead you. You respond from your values, not your mood. From your principles, not your pressure. From your growth, not your wounds. It doesn't mean you're passive. It means you're powerful enough to act with thought. It means you've grown strong enough to stay calm when others aren't. It means your emotions serve you. They don't steer you. In that space between what happens and how you respond, your character is revealed. And every time you respond with intention, you shape your future with clarity. You build trust with others. You build confidence within. You stay rooted in who you are, not what the moment demands you to be. Because the goal is not just to be right in the moment, but to be wise in the long run. To create peace, not conflict. To lead with purpose, not reaction. And that begins the moment you stop reacting and start responding. Most things that make you angry are not worth your energy. Think about how many moments you've lost, replaying words that were never worth remembering. Think about how many hours you've wasted, carrying emotions for people who didn't even notice. You held on to the anger. You fed it. You carried it into your conversations, into your thoughts, into your sleep. And for what? Most of the things that upset us are fleeting. They're small, they pass. But we let them live in our minds far longer than they deserve. A rude driver, an unfair comment, a missed opportunity, a mistake, yours or someone else's. In the moment, it stings, it shocks, but it doesn't define anything. Unless you let it. Anger is expensive. It costs you peace. It drains your clarity. It clouds your judgment. And often it causes more damage than the thing that triggered it. You snap at someone who didn't deserve it. You make a decision you regret. You carry tension that your body doesn't need. What's worse is most of the people or situations you're mad at, they're not even thinking about you. They've moved on. The moment is over, but you're still stuck there burning from the inside. Is it really worth it? You have limited energy each day. You choose how you spend it. You can spend it creating. You can spend it building. You can spend it growing. Or you can waste it fuming over something that no longer matters. Let that sink in. You were made for more than reacting. You were built for strength, not stress. And that means learning to let things go, not because you're weak, but because your peace is too valuable. Your future is too important. Your energy is too sacred to be spent on anything that doesn't lift you. When you feel anger rising, pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my focus? Is this building me or breaking me? Because most things that make you angry aren't worth the energy it takes to stay angry. True strength is staying calm in chaos, not when everything is easy, not when the path is clear and the sun is shining, but when the storm hits, when everything around you is uncertain, when the noise is loud, the pressure is real, and fear is in the air. That's when your true strength is revealed. Anyone can be calm when life is calm. But to stand tall in the middle of confusion, to breathe steady when things are spinning, to hold your peace when the world is losing its grip, That's power. You see, chaos doesn't create character. It reveals it. It shows you who you are. It tests what you've built inside. If you've been training, if you've been building discipline, mindset, and perspective, then chaos is not your enemy. It's your proving ground. Calm isn't passive. It's not weakness. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows they don't need to panic to act. It's the stillness that lets you see clearly. It's the composure that allows you to lead when others are lost. Staying calm doesn't mean you're unaffected. It means you're centered. You create space for thought instead of reaction. You gain respect, not just from others, but from yourself. Because the leader who doesn't flinch is the leader people trust. The one who doesn't get distracted is the one who finishes the race. The one who stays steady becomes the example others follow. And growth lives in the space where you stop giving your attention to things that don't deserve it. Growth begins the moment you stop trying to fight every battle. Not everything needs your reaction. Not everything needs your voice. Some things just need to be released. So here's the truth. You don't need to become a different person to master your emotions. You just need to become more of who you truly are. Calm, focused, in control. Not ruled by noise. Not pulled by anger. Not shaken by things that don't matter. The greatest power you'll ever hold is peace. And the greatest freedom you'll ever earn is the ability to choose your response. So from this moment forward, walk steady, think clearly, lead yourself first. Because when you master your mind, you master your world.